Hi, everybody. This is Arthur, and I'm not wearing a grass skirt, but I should be. And here we have Mel, Thor, the Aloha shirt psychic for Aloha Tuesdays. We're live. I'm from LA. Mel is from Chicago. And here we go. How you doing, Mel?
I'm good. How are you?
As I always say, a wake up breathing, I'm happy. Or I didn't learn my lesson, and I'm still here.
Well, I'm not ready to, my friend Beverly Kirby used to say, her mother, Mom Kirby used to say, I'm not afraid to die. I just hope the good Lord ain't taking up a batch today.
Or my grandmother would say, how you doing? She goes, I'm doing great. Got all day, I'll tell you the truth.
I love it.
So, lots going on today out there in the real world.
I'm hearing music or something.
What's that? It's Gabriel's blowing his horn out the window.
Oh, okay.
I live near 2 hospitals and a fire station.
Well, here, if you go outside, the dog won't even go outside because we have the 17-year locusts or the cicadas.
Oh, yes.
And it is so loud outside. The dog is petrified. Here, I'll share something with you all real quick. And they're like the baby trees they'll eat, but they're everywhere. And it's kind of cool. I remember every 17 years, and trust me, I've only seen, well, never mind. I've seen a lot of times that the locust.
Only twice.
Only twice. Thank you. That was very polite. And if you believe that, I've got some land I'll sell you. Here, I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but let me see. Just give me 1 second. No, you can't hear it. I forgot. I've got my earphones in. Anyway, it's really, really loud.
Yeah.
And it's like in August, the cicadas around here start this thing, but this is a different, I guess, species. Right. They really are loud. It's really cool, though. The dog doesn't like it. She'll come back in.
I remember, that's one thing I miss being in Los Angeles. You can't see the stars because it's always the lights are always on, and you can't really hear cicadas and stuff. But I do like the once in a while it drives some people crazy, but sometimes the seagulls will be circling the neighborhood, and I like the sound of seagulls.
Let me just say something. There's somebody in the chat, and they're asking a long question. Or I don't know what it is, but if you do that, it breaks up. And then when you start where you left off, it's hard for us to see it because it keeps scrolling.
Right.
We don't see the entire comment. So try to keep them below the 500-word minimum. It was something about her mom fell and a salesman found her, and I couldn't get the whole thing. So, okay. All right.
So, did you see anything you'd like to talk about before we start?
I'm sorry, say again.
Did you see anything in the news you'd like to talk about before we started?
Because I saw stuff. I
saw Trump just drove me crazy when he said that Evan Gershkovich, the Wall Street Journal reporter that's imprisoned in Russia, he said if he's elected, Putin has told him that he'll be released. Only he can get this guy released. Nobody else can.
If it was elected?
If Trump becomes president, Putin will release him.
That's not going to get any votes for Trump. I can tell you that right now.
Well, if he really cared, he'd get him released now and then try and look. I got the guy out. Vote for me.
Here's the carrot, right? Okay. Rose Blue says she can't post in Arthur's chat. Something's wrong. There's nothing wrong, Rose, because you signed in from my channel because I'm live streaming it, and that's why you can't post in Arthur's.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. She signed in because I'm streaming live to my channel right now.
Right, and I'm streaming live on mine.
And she's on my channel, and so she can't post on yours. Comment on
okay.
But obviously, she posted on mine. But so Rose, you can post on mine, and we can still see it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's all right.
House cleaning.
I forget her name. She's a drag queen. She's very funny. She's Spanish. She said, growing up, I always thought housekeeping was a Spanish word.
Shaywar Chosa says, hi, Melther. I like that. Melther.
Melther.
Mel and Arthur. Yes, I do have some things I want to talk about if he doesn't.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right. Well, my underwear are in a bunch because the House Ways, one of the House committees or something,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a snippet of Merrick Garland's testimony, and they were trying to crucify him.
Oh,
But hold on, he held his own. And for anybody that ever questioned his effectiveness and his quietness, don't, because watch what happened. The GOP leaders were threatening to hold Merrick Garland in contempt for supposedly withholding records they've subpoenaed from special counsel Hur's investigation into Joe Biden's handling of classified documents following his vice presidency, including audio recordings of Hur's interview. This was from ABC News. I'm reading from ABC.
okay.
They will stop at nothing. But Merrick Garland really let him have it. And he said he's not going to bow down to conspiracy theories. He's not going to go through any of that. And the only reason that the House GOP, some of them are doing this, is because they are trying to get even with Biden, and they're looking for ways to impeach him, and it will not work. The other thing is they're talking about Joe Biden like he did something wrong, but yet their own candidate was just convicted of 46 counts. So it's deceit,
34,
divert, detract. And then they talk about Hunter Biden, but yet they don't say anything about their.
And Hunter Biden is not, he's a public person.
Well, I think he's going to be acquitted.
Yeah.
Found not guilty. But
well, you also heard about Mike Johnson says the GOP will defund the DOJ in retaliation for Trump conviction.
They can't do that.
I know. It's just clickbait. It's just chatter. But when Merrick Garland told Matt Gaetz off, like, I don't believe, it was just brilliant.
I didn't see it. What did he say?
He just basically said, well, I don't agree with that. Just dismissed him.
Here's what Merrick Garland said. And this is really cool. Now I'm quoting from ABC News, and this is what he supposedly said. I took a screenshot of it. Certain members of this committee and the Oversight Committee are seeking contempt as a means of obtaining, for no legitimate purpose, sensitive law enforcement information that could harm the integrity of future investigations. Garland said in his opening statements, this effort is only the most recent in a long line of attacks on the Justice Department's work. Good for you, Merrick Garland. That's from ABC.
Yeah.
Good for you, Merrick.
I think he's great.
Anyway.
And, some people say he's not worked fast enough. The guy's meticulous and but he knows what he's doing.
Well, so today he proved he had a set, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And yesterday with my tragic girlfriend going after him about Fauci. I mean, they're just nuts, all of them.
She's going to be arrested by the fashion police, I'm telling you.
Well,
MTG. Okay.
Yeah. Arthur, can you tell us that my tragic girlfriend is MTG? Your tragic girlfriend will be contained, silent, something soon. All she has to do is keep on talking, and she's an embarrassment.
I see her under investigation. Oh. I see charges filed against her at some point. That's what
she's one of the unnamed co-conspirators in January 6th, as far as I'm concerned.
That's a yes.
Giving a little tour before the day of the insurrection to people.
Hey, for all the animal lovers, I just heard today, and I'm totally against breeding dogs for medical use for pharmaceutical companies, because I don't want to tell you what they do to them. And they use beagles. And the reason they use beagles is because beagles have a really good sense of smell. And also beagles are such sweet dogs. They're not aggressive. So they're bred to be horribly treated just because they're sweet and good dogs. So there's a company called Invigo, and it's a facility that bred for pharmaceutical research these beagles. they were fined. They're facing $350 million because they failed to provide adequate care and staffing for these beagles, and the conditions were deplorable. They pleaded guilty to violation of the Clean Water Act because they were putting animal waste in the water supply and all that. And I think it was over 4,000 beagles. So the beagles have been taken away from them. They're trying to find homes for them. I'm thinking, how horrific is that? You know, those people should be, they should do the same thing to them.
To them, yeah. No, it's inhumane, literally.
Right.
And 300 million is not enough.
It's not. No, it's 35 million, but it should be more.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. 300 million would not be enough. Is what I'm saying. Well, here's a question for you that I cannot pronounce these words.
Go ahead. Aloha Olua. Catherine Gopal. Aloha Olua. Will there be more money to really clean and protect our World Heritage Site? Oh, cool. Oh, I know what that is. Papa Hano. Wait, I'm having a hard saying it. Papa Hano Moku Akea. I think if that's on Molokai, I forget where it's at. But yes, there will be a lot of funds coming in for that. And so I see, actually, I see those places becoming UNESCO sites, Catherine. So Papahana Naumo Kuakea. They're long words in Hawaii. So yes, the answer is yes. What do you think, Arthur? She's asking to clean and protect.
They're going to clean up. I actually feel there's some new legislation going through in 2026, especially for Hawaii and for other places where it's just clean up and get things where they should be pristine again.
There's an island there called Koho'olawe, and it's sacred. It means a sacred whale, and it's off the coast of Maui. And there's Molokai i Lanai and Koho'olawe, and there's another small island there. And the United States military used Koho'olawe for artillery practice, and so they're going on Koho'olawe now. People are they've hired demolition experts to the unexploded shells and bombs and things like that. And so they're not dangerous. And they're actually making that island like a living museum. It's really cool.
Cool.
So that's exciting. So I see a lot of places in Hawaii and a lot of the places on the Hawaiian archipelago becoming UNESCO sites. Cool. UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. Yeah. They put money into it, and it's incredible. That's a good question. Thank you, Catherine. Aloha.
Just don't steal any lava rocks like Greg from Brady Bunch.
Well, Man and Pele, those are her children, and she doesn't like that. And so, no, you don't take her children. That is
no.
It's a big heva. Heva means wrong. So, mahalo nui loa, Catherine, for that question. That means thank you very much.
And I would say, howdy, thanks. PKB. In Missouri, will Lucas Kuntz get the exposure and support enough to beat Josh Hawley for the Senate? I really hope so.
I see Kuntz doing very, very, very well. My famous saying is he's got to get out and knock on some doors. But he's going to be a formidable opponent of Hawley. And I really think he's got a huge chance of winning. I really think Lucas can pull this off.
I'm not seeing a landslide. It's going to be close, but I feel Kuntz wins. You know.
That's what I see too.
Yeah. There's only so many books of masculinity that you can read. see here next. From Susan Cordova. Mel and Authur, why is Donald Trump Jr. visiting El Salvador? What are his true intentions?
I think he's up to no goods, and he might be asking El Presidente allá para ayudar, to help, but it's not going to work. The president of El Salvador wants nothing to do with Donald Trump. That's what I think. He's asking for help.
The first thing that came to my head from the guides was money. Something about money. Not actually visiting the government of El Salvador, but some people in El Salvador.
Right.
Asking for money. That's all I get. It's not, like you said, he's up to no good. So, oh, here's a nice one. Okay. Cicadas show up in Texas a lot more frequently. Sometimes we get them 2 years in a row. There you go.
Could everybody please put your questions in capital letters, because it makes it easier for our moderator. Sherry's behind the scenes, and so is Aiden. And so they're also reading questions.
Right. And also, we're old men, so.
Watch it.
Well, it was funny. Somebody, actually, when I asked for caps, they said, I work for an optometrist. Is there something wrong with your eyes, Authur? And I said, well, when I went to ophthalmologist, he asked me if I see halos, and I said, yeah, I thought those are angels. He said, well, you might see angels, but those are still cataract.
Here's like this.
Yeah, exactly. So, Sandra in Connecticut. Hi, Sandra. What's going on with Speaker Johnson saying Biden is the worst president in history, threatening impeachment again with MTG?
Well, my guides told me when they pulled that whole impeachment bullpucky or bull hockey before, it wouldn't go anywhere. And my guides had told me they're going to try something again, but it's not going to work. All that Johnson is doing is trying to suck up to Marjorie Taylor Greene right now, because he doesn't want her to make any more motions to have him unseated. They have nothing on Biden. I know what they're doing. They're trying to build a case that Biden had some of those records, but he found them inadvertently. He didn't take them.
Totally different. It's apples and watermelons.
They're mixing apples and barracudas
and pina coladas. It doesn't make any sense.
Apples and barracudas. So essentially, Trump knew what he was doing. He wouldn't give them back.
Yeah.
When Biden found them, he said, it was a mistake, whatever.
And even Mike Pence had some. So, it is what it is.
Correct.
But they're trying to equate the word impeachment with Trump with impeachment with Biden to get the words going.
What he's trying to do is come up with something, because they want to make Biden look bad and lose popularity in his numbers, because right before the election. But it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what they're trying to do, anybody with half a brain. So her investigation didn't really show anything. There was no criminal intent. There was nothing.
The thing is, they want the recorded documents, the recordings, where Garland saying, you already have the printed transcript. You don't need the recordings.
They're just trying to do it to cause trouble and to make Merrick Garland look bad. It's not going to work.
Look what Ohio did, when they said that they weren't going to put Biden on the ticket. The DNC had to change their date of when you're going to announce who their candidate would be, but they're going to do it virally, and then they'll do, the event, the convention. These guys are just underhanded. They're nuts. Will Biden get the Washington Post? The Wall Street Journal journalist before the election? Sacred Hag wants to know.
I don't understand the question.
Remember when I just said that Evan Gorchevich, the Wall Street Journal reporter, that Trump said that only he can get back from Russia?
Oh, I see.
Sacred Hag is asking, will Biden get the Wall Street Journal journalist before the election?
I don't think they're going to do anything before the election. I don't see it.
No.
Okay, Kevin Loving Vibrations. Hi, Kevin. He made a good point. Remember when I said that they couldn't like comment? And Kevin said, I forgot about this. Make sure you're subscribed because on my channel, I have subscriber mode on. And what that does is it stops the trolls. They have to subscribe for X amount of time before they can comment. So I think that's exactly what's going on mine.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. So if you want to comment, subscribe to Arthur's, subscribe to mine.
If somebody wants to get a reading with you, Mr. Mel, what do they do?
Call Aiden. No, teasing. They can. There you go. It's www.meldor.com or call my office at 847-590-5411.
And if anybody wants a reading with me, AuthurEaseYourMind.com or 310-494-5955.
I just want to bring this up again.
Mm-hmm.
Johnson's saying that Biden's the worst president in history. Obviously, Mike Johnson hasn't done his homework because Biden has done more for this country than any president since 1963. He's gotten so much done. Yeah. He just doesn't go on the bully pulpit about it. So,
well, actually, recently he did. There was a quote. He said, "Yeah, I did that."
Good, and he's going to do more of that.
And also, look what he did with the executive order for the border.
Good.
Put it right back into the Republicans' hands. You're not going to do it. I'll do it. So it's nuts. Okay. So let's see here.
Let's see.
I can't walk and talk and give readings at the same time.
Cards for you, so I don't know if.
Here it is.
Here, Kevin said. Here's what Kevin Chandler said. Garland did well today, but I feel he is too timid for the job. We need a fighter. Well, that's true, but he did speak up today, and I was kind of proud of him for that. But I do agree we need somebody who's a junkyard dog.
Right, but he speaks softly but carries a big stick.
Ask me third, I said, vengeance is the ultimate display of pettiness, and I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100,000%.
Okay, here's one. I'll put them up for you. There you go.
Batcave. Same time, same channel. Mel and Arthur, you both rock. I live in South Florida. What do you both see for the Atlantic hurricane season this year? I am really worried.
Well, I see that there's going to be some major storms hitting Florida this year. And now they have Category 6, so
right.
we can count on some of those. I'm also a little bit nervous about Galveston. So, but I see them hitting up further on the Florida coast.
What I keep on getting, I feel we'll see our first Category 6 this year.
I think we had one already.
Did we? Well, we're going to have another one. And also, what I keep on reading is there's going to be something off the coast, but I feel the shorelines of the North Carolina, South Carolina, they're going to get walloped. Nobody's going to die. It's just a lot of water.
A lot of flooding and storm surge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Christine asked, do you see Alexa Rivas or Gabrielle, I'm lousy with names, sorry, becoming the first female president in El Salvador in 2029?
Gabriela Buckley becoming the first female president of El Salvador. They belong to the new Nuevas Ideas, means the new ideas, a political party of President Buckley. I don't know, but I don't know if the current president can run again, but I don't know what just happened here, but I hope everybody can hear me. But I think I got a funny feeling Gabriela is going to do very, very well in that election. Arthur, some way or another, you were clicked off, so I don't know what happened.
We had a power surge.
Okay, so you got to go the other way because
what?
That's all right. I'm on the wrong side because you're the host. But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, there you go. I don't know how you
Thank
did.
you,
Whoever
Sharon.
did that, thank you. Okay. The spirits did it. The spirits pulling the strings. Okay. Lynn Hirayama says,
Oh, a friend of mine passed today. I'm sorry.
sorry.
Was that him I saw in my dream? It was all in white and felt happy, of course.
Yes, it was him.
It went very fast.
Lucia. Okay. So I think we've already touched on this, but Sunny Valoria asks,
Can we talk about Hunter Biden's trial outcomes? Outcome.
I see him found not guilty. And they might try to come up with another trial for something, but I don't see him in jail and I don't see him found guilty. I want to tell you, though, I do see him suing the pants off of Marjorie Taylor Greene. No
Oh
pun.
God, yes.
No pun.
And
He's going to win.
and faux news.
Hello, Aloha Duo.
I'm sorry, I started that by mistake. This is not what I do, people.
All right, we've already answered that. Here's one. Am I pregnant? We can't do medical advice, but I do see conception very, very soon. What do you think, Arthur?
3-4 months, you'll know the answer. That's all I got.
Okay, that's true. I really like this question. Christian Martinez. Want me to read it? Or you got it?
Yeah, please. I'm sorry.
The president of El Salvador is having meetings with leaders of Latin America. Do you see El Salvador sending military advisors to Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina to fight the violence? I do.
Advisors, yes.
Advisors, yeah.
Advisors, yes.
And I tell you what else I see, that the president of El Salvador is going to try to get a lot of those countries like Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, to form a Latin American Union, like the European Union. And it would be a lot of countries, Central America, countries in South America, and even Mexico. Mexico is a country where they'd have a common currency, and it would be like the European Union. So we're going to see that within the next 5 to 7 years. My guides told me that, have been telling me that for the last couple of weeks. So that's what I see coming down.
But also, Mexico with its first female president.
Right.
You know, I think it's going to be great.
Okay. Here you go.
45 is asking his supporters to vote by mail in November. The campaign is called Swamp the Vote. Will MAGA end up voting by mail like he's hoping?
Well, remember the one who was trying to curb voting because, the write-in votes are mail fraud. Remember when he lost? It was all fraud.
Mm-hmm.
We only should count the votes where people came out to vote live or in person. Blah blah blah. Oh, and now he's trying to get the mail-in votes. Swamp the vote. I don't know what that means, but a lot of MAGAs will vote by mail, but really that's going to hurt Trump, not help him.
Yeah. I feel, it's just showing everybody how two-faced he is.
Correct. His double standards when it's good for him, right?
Yeah.
And then, and grab this one. And then when he loses the mail-in votes and stuff like that, it was rigged. They intercepted them. They weren't the right votes. It'll be, oh, God.
Yeah.
My prayer is that at some point Trump shuts his mouth. I know that won't happen, but
well, I've been saying he's not crossing the finish line, so we'll see what that means.
Well, when he crosses the finish line, that's one thing. Okay, so Karen Alexander commented and said whatever Putin said about releasing the journalist, Putin said it's a lie.
Putin said it was a lie. He didn't say it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, if we've asked some of these, let me know.
Will Gloria Johnson, Democrat in Tennessee, beat the most hateful person in Tennessee, Blackburn?
I see her doing well as well.
Yeah, I do too.
She'll have to knock on a bunch of doors, but I really think she'll do well. All right, let me just do it this way. I'll just look at the ones that are starred.
That's what I was going to do.
Did we read the one from Candace? Here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My tragic girlfriend.
I like that one. All right, here. Well, this is we've touched on this, but Silvio Munoz, go ahead.
What's the energy around Hunter Biden's trial? He seems calm.
Because I think he knows that it's pretty much bogus and that
Mhm.
they really don't have a lot to go on. And my guys are telling me that his defense, and he's got a great defense team, and he's a lawyer as well, will be
Exactly.
raise reasonable doubt with the jury.
I think he's just sitting there like making a list of, okay, let's see, MTG, that news company. Who else can I mean, there's going to be a list. It's going to be a list.
There you go.
So, yes.
I mean, they don't really have a strong case against him because who's to say he was or wasn't on drugs when he signed for the gun? I don't think they have a smoking gun. The prosecution does not have a smoking gun. Oh, hold on. There we go.
Jitterbug.
Hi, Jitterbug Tutu.
She's the sweetest woman.
You want to read it or you want me to?
I will.
Okay.
Hello, amazing Authur and Auntie Mel. Do you see the Dems getting more aggressive against the GOP now that the thug has been convicted?
Yes.
Seems we hear about the thug's rhetoric and nothing from the Dems. Well, the Dems are talking.
It never fails. Whenever I'm doing a show, somebody calls. Never fails. I think they think if they call me, they can get through because they're watching on YouTube.
What, like talk radio?
Yeah, right.
Like you're Larry King?
Right.
Callers now. Please turn down your radio.
Oh, this is a good one. I like this.
Now Wisconsin is starting to indict people for their part in the fake elector scheme. No mention yet of the Russian Rob Johnson. Will he be in trouble eventually?
Yes, he will be. Big time.
And yes.
I think they're investigating him as we speak. I know they are.
Yeah. They're all... Yeah, the clown car is full. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
When will all the doxing stop, or when will law enforcement do something before someone gets hurt? It's getting old.
I don't know what doxing means.
Doxing is when people get a hold of your address, all your personal information, put it out there on the web for people to go after you, like with the jurors.
I see legislation passed to stop that, and whoever gets that information and disseminates it will be held. It'll be a really, really, really serious felony offense. So I see that BS stopping at some point.
I agree.
Why do they call it doxing? Oh, documents. I see.
Documenting. Yeah, documenting this person. To me, I mean, it's almost it's a form of cyber stalking.
It is. Actually, it is. And it should be. It's jury tampering, too.
Right. But they do it against anybody, even against Marshawn. I mean, Jack Smith had to sell his house and move. What they did to him.
I see legislation stopping that. And we know who's behind that, don't we? I wonder if there could be a T and an R and an M and a P in the name.
And an A and an S. Never mind. Orange. I see orange. Hi, Gail. Light and blessings to you both. Will Nevada remain blue in the federal House and Senate? Thanks. I get a yes.
I get a yes. It'll be close, but I get a yes. I laugh because every time the MAGAs say it's going to be this MAGA red tsunami, it isn't even a pink drop. And if what's been going on in a lot of the state and local elections that were traditionally Republican and they turned to Democrat, if that's a bellwether of what's coming for the House and the Senate and the presidential elections, I see the Dems taking it all.
Oh, I do too. And what I've always said, I've said on other shows, that when we get to 2025, the words empathy and compassion come back into politics.
Right. If they
Take a
were
while,
if they
as
were
opposed to hate and bigotry and we're better than you are.
if they were ever there to begin with, right?
Well,
All right.
that's a story in itself.
There you go. Hi, Jade.
I don't know who this is.
I don't either.
Where's she?
She has a primary coming up. I don't know. I'll have to look and see. I don't know.
I don't know who this is. I don't get an answer on it, so
okay.
I don't venture to say. J.O., what do you see with all these cyber attacks? It's been health networks, ATT, utilities, and who's behind this?
Well, I think some people that work in some of those companies leak information.
Yeah.
Money. Right. I mean, it's being done domestically. I don't think it's coming from Russia. It's being done here, and it's for money.
But they want to make it sound like, oh, China and this and that, and they're all
exactly. I think, and they're doing it to make our whole security system look weak. But I see the government spending a lot of money on tightening up.
They already have. Yeah.
Well, they're going to spend a lot more on cybersecurity, bringing their computer systems up to date, which some are archaic, but to prevent a lot of this.
Right.
And so I see a lot of that stopping.
Also, the other night, I kept on thinking about the grid in Texas, that it's fragile, but it's not going down again. Is what I'm reading.
You think it's going to go down again?
No, I said it's fragile, but I don't see it going down.
I see it overtaxed, and I think what's going to happen is going to be record hot summer, and they're going to tell people to keep their air conditioning at like 78 or 80, and people are going to be like, wrong. Things like that. I've seen elections where actually a snowstorm here in Chicago actually lost, back in the late 70s, lost an election for Mayor Belandic. Because snow removal, he didn't really have the proper contracts, and there was this major snowstorm. It was like 3.5 feet of snow, and they couldn't get the snow fast enough out of O'Hare Field, so the airport closed, and that lost the election for him. So I've seen, elections where, politicians lose because of things like put your temperature at 80,
Yeah. Yes, there was a big push in the computer science community to improve our cybersecurity. I have several faculty that is doing research on it now. Thank you, Sherry.
I want to say thank you to Sherry and to Aiden, because they are behind the scenes pulling the buttons right now. They're pressing the buttons, pulling the strings, whatever they're doing. Okay.
I'm just propped up here like a bobblehead.
Oh, this is a good one.
Hi, gentlemen. Do you think Trump will implode by the convention? I am having feelings something is going to happen. Love y'all. Well, the 11th is when he gets sentenced. The 15th is the convention. The 27th is the debate. What do you think?
In answer to your question, I feel he's imploding already.
Yeah.
He just has one exit point. It's the south end.
Well, that depends.
It all depends. That was good. That was a real.
Thank you. Well, I feel. I said this the other night. I was at Whole Foods the other day by the cheese section. I kept on thinking of Trump when I saw the Swiss cheese.
I'm not touching that.
His brain, Swiss cheese.
I got it. Okay.
Now they want the stuttering so they can use AI to alter stuff. It was great that the Dems said that today.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe that. They'll try, but it won't work.
No, there's algorithms for all that now.
Ted, it's pronounced Geis in German. Ted Geis.
Oh, he's a nice guy.
I'm sorry.
He's a nice guy. He just had 2 knee replacements.
Hi, Ted.
Um,
It'll help your back, by the way. The knee replacements will help your back because now your center of gravity is like where it should be. Before you were subconsciously leaning to one side, and that had to cause some back issues.
oh, he's doing great.
Good.
He's doing great. Will Sherrod Brown in Ohio keep his Senate seat? I feel yes.
So do I. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Hi, Kathy.
Hello, Kathy Reagans. Hello, wonderful Aloha Auntie Nell and Aloha Arthur. My question is, do you see Fani Willis trial taking place after the November election? Blessings to you both.
Well, I heard Glenn Kirshner say that, it takes time. Appeals court are notoriously slow.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is appealing it, but I don't see Fani Willis being removed as the prosecutor. But my guides keep telling me there is going to be a trial that starts before the election.
Right. And I keep on feeling it's going to be January 6th.
Okay. But he's going to be convicted in Georgia and on January the 6th. And
in Florida with the new judge.
Well, I was just going to say, because of the documents that were found, here's what's going to happen. The documents that were
another one.
After Trump was already indicted on all of this, and he didn't turn those in. He's going to say he didn't know he had them, but he did. Jack Smith is going to ask for charges and have a grand jury indict him, and probably in Washington D.C. with a judge on the new evidence. They won't put it into this trial. It's brand new,
separate, because
Trump lied about it. And, it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to cover it up. And I think this is going to be the interesting part is I really think the judge is a Republican. However, it's going to be a judge that's very fair-minded and will not put up with any shenanigans. And certainly was picked fair and square, and will be fair to both parties.
Right.
And Trump will be convicted of that too, because my guys keep telling me
there's another shoe that's going to fall.
Correct. Absolutely.
And right now, the shoes are dropping from an octopus.
4 trials now, but I'm seeing 5, possibly 6.
6. Yeah, I felt that too. And also, I feel E. Jean Carroll's going back after him.
Oh, she will. But I'm talking criminal trials. I'm not talking civil.
I know. I'm just mentioning what I'm mentioning.
He's got at least 3 more civil trials coming, because I see 2 jurors starting out with 3, but it ends up being 2 suing the pants off of him because of the way he slandered and degraded them. And they can show damages. They're going to win.
Yeah. But also, everything that happened in the Allen Bragg case against Trump with the properties and the fraud and all that kind of stuff, even though it was state, I feel that is eventually going to go federal as well.
It will. That's, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because my guides have been showing me as well that the state of New York, because the civil stuff, would send it over for criminal prosecution as well. So there's another. So that's maybe the 6 we're seeing.
And also, don't forget Chicago.
Well, that's 7.
That's a state, but still.
Correct.
It could end up being federal because it's all doing with federal taxes.
Right. So
I'm just a psychic. I'm not a tax attorney. Don't ask me questions.
I still see more charges and more trials. I mean, other than the 4 he's got going.
Right.
2 or 3 more civil ones. And I see his assets being confiscated. So good.
I just hope it gets to the point where it's like, well, we need him as a witness. Get the Ouija board. Sorry.
Ouija said, I don't even want to have to deal with that.
Exactly. My longest joke for a long time, and this is pretty bad, but when Betty White was the only one around, I used to say, what do you get when you have Betty White and your Ouija board? A Golden Girl reunion? Deborah Webb, what do you see at this moment or circumstance that Jack Smith will be able to say to Eileen Canyon, checkmate?
Well, I don't think he'll say checkmate. mate. He might drop the F-bomb.
And it's going to be the 11th Circuit that says adios.
Correct. I mean, after this case, she's done. She's washed up. I see her at some point, if she doesn't resign, I see her being impeached and removed from the court. Okay.
Well, she'll be selling timeshares in Montana or something.
She'll be selling timeshares of Donald Trump or for Donald Trump. Ooh.
T-Lynn.
Outside.
Kansas Supreme Court majority said voting rights are not in state constitution. What are they up to? And will this ridiculousness now go national?
Well, a lot of these states like that are trying to use those that ridiculousness, that's hard to say, as a litmus test to see what other states will do.
Right.
But you know what? Even though voting rights aren't in the state constitution, if somebody challenged that to the Supreme Court of the United States, that would be overturned in Kansas because, you know, voting is a fundamental right of all of us. And I think the Supreme Court would say it's unconstitutional for them to pull a shot like that.
But also, when you have state rights versus federal rights, it's the federal rights that outshine the state.
The Constitution of the United States overrides everything.
Right.
Okay.
Could we put wheels on it? Mike Johnson needs to go now.
Yeah, well, it's going to be
quiet. Please see if he is going. Now, you know, I have been wrong. I have to admit this. I thought he would be gone by the end of May. And there was a time when Marjorie Taylor Greene looked like she was going to get him out. But I still feel he's walking a tightrope.
Well, he's up to her now because, as I said earlier, he thinks that she won't come up with another motion, if you will, to have him ousted. But
now the fact, according to this, you know, is he already spoke out loud that he spoke with the justices on the court. Oops. I feel that's going to be an investigation.
There will be. And the other part of this is that he should be thankful to some of the Dems because when Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to oust him before, it was the Democrats' vote that kept his butt in office. He should be thankful. But,
yeah, well,
he's not out of the woods yet.
No. No, I'm not hearing the Munchkins singing anytime soon.
Okay, I think we've already touched on this one, but
I don't see him being found guilty, so I can't answer it.
Right, exactly. Okay.
Well, if his last name was Trump, somebody, you know, and his daddy was president, he'd be pardoned by now, but, you know, Biden's not going to do that. What will be the impact of Nigel Farage entering the election in England? He's a sponsor of Brexit.
I don't know, but I don't know what Brits think about Brexit, but at some point I see Britain wanting to go back into the European Union. It'll be a while, but I see it happening. I don't know. I you know what? I've really got to study up on British politics, and that's going to be my goal, maybe on the airplane going to Africa to study up on it. Because unfortunately, I don't know a lot about it, but I want to learn about it. And I want to learn about Canadian politics as well, because, you know, Canada's our neighbor, and a lot of times they shadow what happens here. And so I don't know, but you know what, Kathy, I will look it up and find out.
Do you know that Canada would not let a convicted felon into their country?
Well, there's going to be countries.
That's what happened. That's what happened to Bush when he had that arrest from the 70s and he was running for president and he had to get a deal made so he could go into Canada. Anyway.
I see a lot of countries that aren't going to allow Trump in.
Right.
So, right. Okay. Oh, we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swamp thing.
Kathy Reagan's.
Hello, fabulous duo. Aloha duo. My question is, do you see the United States helping Latin America countries with green technology to combat climate change?
The answer is yes. But we're one of the worst polluters of all. So we need to clean up our own backyard.
Yeah, but I don't see somebody with that just like handing out paper towels. I think it'll be more than that.
Oh no, it's not going to be handing out paper towels. It's going to be not here throwing paper towels. Oh, I helped. I was there. Yeah, you're throwing paper towel rolls. You should have been like passing out food.
Since Eileen Cannon does only paperless orders, is Jack Smith going to do something soon?
He's got a lot of.
I don't think he has. I actually feel he may not have to. That the 11th Circuit's going to like step in.
Well, he has to file something, maybe a mandamus.
But he will.
Get rid of mandamus. I see him doing that. She's not going to like it, but too bad. Okay, here we go.
John Eastman is urging Trump to appeal his hush money conviction in New York to the Supreme Court. Will SCOTUS take the appeal?
Well, hold on, though. Before the Supreme Court takes it, it has to go through the proper channels.
Yes.
So if they try to appeal it to the Supreme Court now, the Supreme Court's going to say, no, it's got to go through the channels. The only way the Supreme Court would take it is unless something went against the Constitution of the United States. But he's going to lose the appeal in all of the state courts in New York, and then they're going to try to rush it to the Supreme Court. But this one, I think the Supreme Court will kick the can. I really do.
It's kind of like, remember, with all the convictions, with all the the tampering of the court system with the election, and 60 cases got said no, this is not true, and then you try to get Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court wouldn't take them.
Correct.
So same thing here. John Eastman, does he still have his law license? Has he been debarred yet?
But he's not going to practice law, that I can tell you. So he will, if he's not debarred, he will be debarred. What's, I guess, debarred? I don't know what the term. Defrocked.
Disbarred.
Disbarred. Debarred, disbarred, unbarred, whatever. Okay.
Like Bill Barr. I know time isn't perfect for predictions, but how likely is it that implants like the one Elon Musk people created will actually be able to cure paralysis anytime soon?
Unfortunately, it's going to be a long while.
Like, we're talking about nanobot technology?
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the implants that kind of transmit nerves and bypass.
Yeah.
But somewhere or another, they'd have to go directly to the brain, so they could have to bypass the spinal cord. It's going to take at least 15 years. It's going to take a long time. But I do see it happening, but it's never going to be like the real thing. But it's
not like it's going to be in the science fiction movies we see today.
Correct. All right.
Hi, Mel and Arthur. I live in North Carolina. Can you see about Jeff Jackson for AG and Jeff Stein for governor?
I haven't thought about that.
I don't know who these people are.
Are they Democrat or Republican? I don't even know.
I don't know.
You know what, Fran? I will take a look at that and see. I don't. Here, let me just do one thing real quick. Jeff Jackson. I'm looking.
Are they incumbents?
He's a Democrat.
Okay.
For Attorney General, and Josh Stein for governor. I see him as Attorney General at some point. The answer is yes. Josh Stein. Actually, I think he'd make a really good Attorney General. Josh Stein for governor. He's the 51st Attorney General. Josh Stein right now. No, wait. Yes, and Josh Stein right now is the Attorney General for the state, and he's a Democrat. So I'm
not getting a yes.
Becoming governor, yes, at some point, yes.
Yeah, at some point.
Well, a lot sooner than later. Sure. I don't know when the elections are down there, but if they get out and campaign, they can win this.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, thank you, Auntie Vaughn. That's
very sweet.
Yes, it was very nice. Okay. Okay. This is a good one.
If Ivana was cremated, why is she buried in a casket?
Because a lot of times what they do is when they cremate, rather than put in an urn, they'll put the ashes in a casket so people can see a closed casket.
Yeah.
Wonder if the casket was used, you think?
I wonder if it was one that Ivanka had from China. Remember, she got a patent on caskets?
You know, they do that. A while ago, a friend of mine, his brother died, and he was cremated, but they didn't have the cremains back, so they just put a casket up with the hinge side toward the audience. So if anybody tried to open it, there was nothing in it. They just rented the casket. It was just for people to go up and see a casket. So I'm like, well, joke's on you. Nothing's in there.
Yeah. I'm a member of Neptune Society, so that if and when, I'm cremated, my sister said, "Now what the hell am I supposed to do with your ashes?" I said, "Well, there's Neiman Marcus. I paid the rent. Put it amongst the plans. Come on." Heather, do you know if there was a private server in Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster, and if they conducted government business using that server?
I hear yes to that.
And I feel they know about it too.
Mara Loco, I like that. That's good, Heather. Mara Loco instead of Mar-a-Lago. I like that.
Loco. Yes.
Mara Loco.
Let's open up a chain of, instead of Pollo Loco, Mara Loco. Mari, do you guys see the cost of living getting better soon?
I see inflation. Well, I see price gouging stopping. I see gas prices coming down. So, I mean, and I see legislation being passed to stop a lot of this price gouging.
Right. And a lot of the, my guys have told me a lot of the price gouging is to make it look like inflation's still high and it's all Biden's fault.
Correct. Exactly. But it's not going to work.
No, it's going to backfire.
Oh, this is a good one.
Cat. Hunter's lawyer said that when he applied for the gun, Hunter didn't think he was a drug addict. The prosecutor has to prove that Hunter knew he was a drug addict at the time.
That's correct. That's what we were saying. So, and that's going to be hard to prove.
Nuh-uh. I didn't know that. Nuh-uh.
Well, if there were blood tests at the time, did he have drugs in his system? And if he were they prescription? I mean, there's so many variables.
Yeah. How long before the former guy leaves us alone and is silent?
Well, it's not going to happen as long as he's walking and breathing.
When someone calls Dr. Van Helsing.
Let's do an exorcism.
And if anybody does not know who Dr. Van Helsing is, think Dracula.
Oh, this is a good. We got time for just two more.
Okay. Is he going to be mad? He did not show up for his probation officer to meet him.
This probation officer is going to be no nonsense.
And she's a black woman.
And is going to say, you must show. And if you do not, here's what's going to happen. She's not going to
put it on a bench warrant, don't they?
Yeah. They have to go to the judge, and the judge does it. But part of his probation could be, or was parole or whatever, it could be like, no drugs, no this, no that. And all she's got to do is say, you have to go give us a urine sample. And he just can't go in there by himself. They send somebody in there to watch.
Right. Hey kid, come here. I have $50 for your pee.
Well, the Secret Service aren't going to be able to do anything about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one.
Here we go.
Felon Trump have women from all sides, everywhere. He turns our women. Excuse me?
I don't get that. No. Oh, this is good, though. I like this one. I agree with this.
Women need to have a silent strike. It's been successful in so many countries. Yeah, especially in Korea. Seriously.
Okay. I agree. Oh, okay. We got time for this one, and then we're pretty much done, I think.
Will any of the U.S. enemies who received some of the DJ-6 preferred national security docs start exposing them to the world if if Trump ends up incarcerated or under house arrest.
I see people coming forward even before the election that are already going to start to expose those pilfered documents, and thus more fodder for Jack Smith's case, the new case we're talking about.
Looky what I have. I thought that was a doormat. No, it's actually documents.
There you go.
I can see that now.
This is our last one right here.
Okay. The cost of living is too expensive in California. Yes, it is. Do you see Governor Newsom removing some of the Governor Brown laws or economic reform? Yes.
Yes, right before the election.
Yes.
Seriously. Anyway.
I mean, when I first started doing YouTube, gas here was $6.99. It's now $4.99 or something.
Right.
So it's gone down a bit. That's been a year.
Anyway. Okay. So this has been so much fun.
Well, thank you for helping Sherry in the background, Aiden in the background, and Mr. Mel.
It's always easier when you're over here starring and putting up the questions than when you're trying to host and read the questions and do all of that.
And to contact Mr. Mel,
below www.meldor.com, or call my office at 847-590-5411. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Aiden. And how do they contact Authur?
I'm in the corner with the Sanders board. We'll read for food. If anybody, I've got bookings the rest of this week if anybody needs anything. To contact Authur, AuthurEaseYourMind.com or 310-494-5955. And do you want to do a little homework or housework about Chicago?
We have 31 or 32 tickets sold, so we got 18 left. So if you want to call us, 847-590-5411. Joan will take the information. She'll give you all the info, or you can go to my website and the brochure's there. Also, I've got a trip to Peru next September and a cruise going to the Italian and French Rivieras in May. The Peru trip's not on my website yet, but I'm going to put it up soon. So
that sounds fun.
There you go. And who's going to be at our event in Chicago? Authur's going to MC. Linda Grindle, me, Kevin Chandler. Hi, Kevin. Kevin Lewis. Hi, Kevin. Deanne, Kim Copeland, and Aiden. Aiden's going to be there. So Aiden's going to film for us and then edit, and so we can put it up on our channels. And
then the stuff he adds out, he'll blackmail us with, right?
Right. Well, it's not going to be the whole seminar, obviously, but it's highlights, and it'll premiere for our members, and then the people that'll be there. So,
yeah, that's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be incredible.
Well, people, thank you so much. Next week, I'm going to be starring and helping Mel like he just did for me, and maybe we'll have other people in the background. But it's been really nice, and thank you so much for making Tuesday nights so great for us, our Aloha Tuesdays. All right, so see you next week.
Thumbs up.
Yes.
Subscribe. Hit that bell. Go to me, subscribe, hit that bell, thumbs up, and
even if you do subscribe, still hit the bell. There's something going on with the algorithms, so just always hit the bell whenever you see it.
Yeah, because Sherry was saying that you got to hit the bell, and it's because if when they notify you, if you don't after so many times, you get unsubscribed.
I lost 14 subscriptions in the night.
I lost you too, and I was wondering what's going on. So
yeah, so ring the bell. It's a great song.
You ring my bell.
Exactly.
That's the extent of my singing. All right.
Thank you. Thank God. No, just kidding.
You
Bye, everybody. Good night.